So I want you to know that I am pregnant.
Good for you.
This marks the end for us.
I already knew that.
And Matt and I, we're family now, so.
Okay. I thought she loved me. She's such a liar.
Pour into ourselves as individuals, because I think we've been doing a lot for each other for a long time, and we just seek out our own happiness in our own ways.
Y'all, Nikki coming to you from her house. I spent 4 hours, 4 hours that I could have been sleeping, 4 trying to edit this video, and I got to the last 3 minutes and my computer did something. I don't know if somebody is trying to do a spell on me, but it glitched completely and I lost everything. I am now re-editing this video, hence why I look like this. Re-editing it, and I'm splitting it. So in this video, you'll see Kara&Guillermo and Jasmine&Gino, because I know people want to hear that. And then in the next video, hopefully Wednesday night, you'll be getting the rest of the couples. Thank you for your patience. Did I cry? Yes. 4 hours is a lot, but there's nothing I can do. Enjoy the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Heavy on the question mark, so we're going to jump straight into it. Before we do, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help a girl out. Up next is Kara and Guillermo. So we see them the morning after. The morning after she told him, "You're just not my person." And it was tense, but still, they slept in the same bed that night. Which is insane when you think about the fact that they haven't slept in the same bed in months. So to go from a big old fight to have no choice but to sleep on the same bed in silence, just no talking, all that tension between them. Oh my God. I think that I would have cried. I would have cried myself to sleep. But that morning we see him on the porch. He's just like in disbelief that like they've come to this. She's packing up and she's also like, we are back where we started. We are not in a good place. We are in different pages completely and have completely different understandings of how and why we got here. And when we see him on the porch, he's like, I had high hopes. I thought that we would, reconcile in this trip. And instead we are further than ever. And maybe that's what we need. And he says something about having hopes for the future, but right now that they need space. And then it goes to their confessional. And she agrees that like they need to grow and to find themselves, because for so long they were just living for each other and what the unit needed. And right now they maybe should focus on themselves and the best thing for Nico. But Guillermo says like he feels like this is more intense for him. I don't think that he can speak for how Kara feels, but for his experience, he feels like it's very intense because he left home. He had already left Venezuela. Dominican Republic was his home. And he left it to be with Kara and to now feel like his family is gone. So we see them awkwardly, pack up the car and head back. But it is just like strangers. And that's always a really hard part of breakups. I've never been married. I would imagine a divorce, I think, would mess me up completely, because letting go of people that you love is really hard, but letting go of someone that you made vows, like you went through the practice, the ritual, the ceremony to say, I choose you forever. And then one day you guys are just like, ? We should probably part. Like I can't even handle it. And I don't think that they are handling it well. I imagine that the confessionals are filmed like months apart. Y'all, they're both at one point just sobbing side by side. And there's this space between them in the couch. They're coexisting for Nico, but they're not friends. And the fact that they're just like sobbing about each other next to each other, but like there's this distance between them. My eyes were teary watching this. Wow. It just puts things in perspective. Like, these are real people with real feelings and they are hurting, and you just can't judge. I think that, again, I am not Kara's cheerleader, but I also do not appreciate the way that she has been dragged on the internet. She's a performer in all aspects. She appears so poised and she appears like she has it together. And so I think people perceive that as someone that is stuck up and doesn't care. But she's hurting too. And I think for a lot of the season, he also appeared very angry, very stubborn, which are all real things. But I believe that he's also hurting. So seeing the way that he like crouched down and covered his face and they're just sobbing simultaneously, oh, I was like, cut the cameras. That was hard. That was probably the realest scene we've seen thus far. But now, Jasmine and Gino. I mean, Jasmine brings on the telenovela at all times, but I feel like there was a moment of like rawness at the end that I was like, oof. No matter how we feel about Jasmine and Gino, I think that we felt something for both of them. I will speak for myself. I felt really bad for both of them about different things. I know that a lot of us feel a lot of different things about it, but I'm going to give you my opinion and I can't wait to read yours, okay? So setting the scene, Gino is driving, okay? He says that Jasmine emailed him that she has something urgent to tell him and that he needs to go to Matt's house. He's like, Matt's house? I'm going to enemy territory. I thought that that was very bold of her to invite him over, but apparently Matt is out of town, possibly getting their Florida apartment together, right? Gino pulls up, she opens the door and he goes right in and she's like, yeah, come in. She asks him to sit down. He immediately peeps that there's boxes. And I thought that this was very interesting what Gino said. And again, I don't know if this is like scripted or if this is genuine. I'm not sure. But Gino says seeing the boxes made him think, oh, maybe she's finally leaving Matt's place and getting a place of her own, because that'll show me that she's really serious about potentially getting back together.
Jasmine is moving out of Matt's place and finally getting her own place. That would show me that she actually still cares about me.
It'll take a lot for us to get there because, you know, I would need an apology and for her to take accountability that she did betray me before the last resort. And I was like, Gino, that's a little delulu. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention, before Gino pulls up, Jasmine is packing up boxes and she tells us that she was considering not going to Florida with Matt, but then she got some news that changed everything, okay? She's already looking puffy in the face. She's also already looking pregnant. She's covering her entire body. If Gino were to be observant, he would notice right away that there's something different with her. But that's just me. Anyway, Gino's in the apartment. They're staring at each other and he's like, so what did you have to tell me? And she's like, thank you for coming. And it's just stalling. And she's like, how have you been? And he's like, how have I been? She's like, yeah, I haven't seen you since Dana's party. How have you been? You mean after you destroyed his relationship? And that's basically what Gino says. Gino's like, well, after you attacked Natalie for no reason, and she immediately starts scuffing, like, ugh. He's like, well, I brought her to meet my family, and she was like, well, that's my family too. Jasmine, they were your family when you got married, and you were married for 2 seconds, right? I get the anger, and I get, like, the feeling of impotence, like, no, like, Gino has been moving shady, but you know the news that you're about to give him. You already stole his family. They're already on your side. You know you're going to move in with Matt. You know you're about to have a baby. You know that this news is going to destroy him. Why are you still fighting him? Why do you need to win everything? Why do you need to make this a massacre? You would think that with the news that she's going to give him, she would have a dose of humility. Like, just get over yourself, but she can't. And Gino is like, how am I? When you like jumped all over her from the minute that you got here, which Jasmine definitely did. She came with an agenda to fight Natalie, even though she came into the party with her man. And Jasmine's favorite phrase is, I take full accountability, except full accountability would have been to go woman to Natalie and apologize because you realized that she wasn't the problem. That's what full accountability is. Not just running your mouth. And Gino's another one that's not taking full accountability because he blames Jasmine's actions at the party for it being the reason that Natalie broke up with him. And sure, that was like the cherry on top, but Natalie broke up with you because you omitted important information about your status. She told you she didn't want to be with a married man to start your divorce proceedings, and you lied to her. You didn't even tell her that you met up with Jasmine the second time. So, safe to say that Natalie had other reasons to break up with you. Also, no one wants to be in a circus. And so Jasmine is going in on him about how he's the common denominator in all of the issues. And again, I think that that's a truth. I also can say that about her. But why do you need to continue to tear this man down when you're about to crush him? So, especially because she keeps saying, like, I don't want him to think that I'm doing it on purpose. But it's like, the lead up to that news, it looks like you want to hurt him on purpose. And he's like, whatever, like I was miserable. She's like, yeah, I was miserable too. And that's why, the war is over. We are over. And yeah, you're right, Jasmine. The war has been over, which is what makes your action so sinister. Because if we're thinking timeline, that means that she was pregnant at Dana's party. She was pregnant when she started fighting with Natalie. She had already decided that she was going to be with Matt by the time of the party. So her bullying Natalie was just flexing like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. But she doesn't even want him. And for those reasons, like it's hard for me to cheer for Jasmine because she just doesn't appear like a good person. She appears very selfish. And this whole interaction was just really, really hard to watch because finally he's like, what do you have to tell me? And she's like, well, I just wanted to tell you that I am moving to Florida. And he's like, oh, you're gonna move away from Matt? And she's like, yeah, I'm moving to Florida and Matt is gonna go.
So you're moving out of Matt's house?
Yes.
You're moving to Florida?
Yeah. But Matt is coming with me.
Okay, so you're moving with Matt to Florida. Okay.
And he's like, okay, so you're moving with Matt to Florida. Like, don't try to disguise what you're saying. Just say what you're going to say. And then she starts turning on the waterworks. And this is the first time that I believe the waterworks. And I'll explain why in a second. But she turns them on, okay? Full on.
I don't want you to know by anyone but me. I'm gonna move and there is something else I don't want to tell you.
And I have something else to tell you. I don't want you to hear from anyone else, but Matt and I are having a baby. And Gino looks like he is choking.
So I want you to know that I am pregnant.
Good for you.
He rolls his eyes back and is like, oh, well, good for you. Good for you. I mean, I'm not surprised.
I am not doing this on purpose. I didn't do it to hurt you.
And she's like, I'm not doing this to hurt you. It wasn't planned. And it's like, Jasmine, that would be a lot more believable if you didn't just sit here and fight with him about why or who he's with when you're literally already starting a family with someone else. Like, it's really hard to believe that you're not out to hurt him. If I were Gino, I would be like, girl, shut the F up. Like, I don't believe you. And she continues to say that, like, and she goes on about how it wasn't planned, but her and Matt, decided that they're going to be adults about it and deal with the consequences. And she's like, and Matt and I are our family now, which is like a knife in the kidney.
This marks the end for us.
I already knew that.
And Matt and I, we're family now. So.
And again, there's levels to this. Because remember how part of the agreement were that they would bang with protection? Personally, I don't think they ever banged with protection. So yeah, that's how babies happen. And yes, I know that her and Gino were not together for the longest, but she still, at least from her mouth out to us, she kept saying that she had hopes to be with her husband. If you have hopes to be with your husband and you are in this open relationship and it's not just separated, then you should have followed the rule of using protection. To me, Jasmine has been moving shady for a very long time. I don't think her and Gino needed to be together. And I don't think she's all the way in the wrong, but I think that this whole situation, it is like the messiest way to get out of a marriage. And so she's like, yeah, Matt and I are family now, so like this marks the end of us. And Gino's like, I mean, we've been over for a while. And so Gino cannot get out of the house fast enough. He's like, is there anything else that you need to say? Like, I really didn't come here to get details on your personal life. And she's like, no, that was it. He's like, well, have the best of luck. I hope that you have a good life. And she's like, I will. And she has like this like stuck up attitude around him. And he's like, okay, well. And he gets up and he drives off. She's looking out the window and she starts crying. She's like, oh, I just know that he's hurting. The more like stoic he acts, the more hurt he is. And I'm really worried about him and what he will do. And pride is really something, because while I think that the way that she's handled all of this has been horrendous, I do believe that she loved him. I do. I think that right up to the last resort, there was a lot of love there. We didn't understand it, but I do believe that she was in love with him. And I think that with the delicate information that she was giving him, she could have told him, like, I love you and I don't want to hurt you. Just like she's saying it when she's off camera. But instead face to face, she was picking fights with him. She was very cold. To then turn and be like, oh, Gino, I hope he's okay. I know he hates me. I could never hate him.
I know he's hurt and he's mad at me.
You treated him awful one-on-one. That was your moment to like bare yourself and be like, we're closing this chapter, but know that I do love you, even though I know in this moment it doesn't feel like it. Why be cold when you are the one that's delivering such heartbreaking news? Because it is going to be heartbreaking to him. And it's heartbreaking, as she says, because they discussed the future. They were married.
When we were married, we were planning to have a family, like all these things. We wanted to have a kid, at least of our own.
And she always fought him on the timeline of having a kid. She was on birth control. She said she didn't want it. There's a number of dreams that are crushed now that she said that, you know? So because you know that he's always wanted this, you would think that she would have delivered that with a little more care.
Even when Gino doesn't believe it, like I still love him. And it hurts me to hurt people that I love.
And now as for Gino, I think that Gino loved Jasmine, but I also think that that love became full-on resentment the minute she came to America and he realized that she wasn't going to change. And so when he realized that she wasn't going to be grateful, that she wasn't going to change her temper, he changed and he became just like his worst self. And so she's crying, she's saying she feels guilty, and I think that that guilt is rooted in the fact that she knows that what she did, it was not great.
And I feel so guilty because I feel like he hates me, but I could never hate him, no, doesn't matter what.
I think that that guilt and that shame is coming from a real place, and I don't think that she'll ever truly admit it. But you're feeling it and it's heavy because it's there. But as for how he reacts to this betrayal, because in my opinion, even if they were separated, I view it as a betrayal. I know that you guys may not. I think that it is a betrayal. You are still married. I'm very big on like clean exits, which is easier said than done because life is messy. But I think that they literally went about it in the messiest fashion. This was absolutely avoidable. But now Gino. Because Gino is not innocent in this at all. Gino, I know that you are crushed. He's like, she's a liar. I can't believe that I believed her. She got me good. She knew that I wanted a family. She never loved me. And he's breaking down. And I feel for him. I do. Like, I can see his heartbreak. But let's be real, Gino. You never touched her. It was almost a year of physical neglect. How did you think that you were going to have a baby? How did you think that that was going to happen? I get it. Like, it is a hit to the ego because it's one thing when you like know that someone is banging someone, right? He obviously didn't want to imagine it, but I'm sure that he could imagine. But to have a baby with the guy that he was worried about, it is a symbol of the deception for Gino. It is a symbol of the betrayal. And I think that that is what's like messing him up. That like all of his insecurities, everything he ever believed that he pushed back or deep down and didn't want to feel, he had to feel it because it's like, this literally is the point of no return. Like, there is no redeeming of this relationship, which is probably for the best. But damn, this is just the hardest way possible, I think, to go through a divorce. And as we know, like, they're still fighting on social media. The aftermath of everything is going to continue being messy. But now we are finally at the place where Gino knows. And we still have so many episodes left to see this unravel. I mean, oh my God. I know we're like over 10 episodes away from a tell-all, but like the tell-all for this, this was a heavy ass episode. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.